Hello, 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 my witchlings. Okay, we're going to do something a little more fun. Um, we're going to look at some crystals. Um, by no means am I telling you to go out and buy all these crystals I'm about to show you, okay? Um, I'm just going to show you some of the forms of them and things like that. And then I'll tell you the ones that I think that, my opinion, you should get first, okay? I can get this to where I'm okay with it. Okay. First of all, you have your clear quartz. Okay, now you can get this in any shape, size. Some of them are huge. Same with all these crystals. This is when you could possibly run into a lot of money. So be careful. If you I hope you're not anything like me and just want to go buy everything, because I'm always like that. Always have been. I want everything. But this right here is your clear quartz. If you don't, I'm just going to give you 5 that I want you to get. If you don't and can't afford any of them, that's okay. Get a clear quartz. They're not very expensive. You can get them in shapes like this, where they're, the little wands, as we call them. You can get them raw. You can pretty much buy a whole bunch of raw on Amazon for pretty cheap. It's just uncut. And I'll tell you the interesting thing about crystals, believe it or not, they are alive. And it is scientifically proven that they keep growing. So, and you may not see it, you can measure, and then a couple of years even it may take, but it's still going to get longer. Or you can see it growing inside. They're really neat. All these crystals are. It's just amazing that they are actually live things, and they put off energy, which is why they are one of our tools that we use in our magics. Now, next is your amethyst. Now, as I said, you can get it in any shape. They have really pretty shapes. Here's a pyramid. Where am I at? Oh, here's a pyramid. Sometimes it's dyed, so it will be darker or lighter. Here's one that hasn't been dyed. It's a little wand. Trying to get them where you can see them. See how light that is? It's almost lavender in spots. It has swirls of dark in it. But then here's one that has been dyed. And it has rings in it too. I believe this one may have a little bit of other things in it. So anyway, amethyst is very important too. Every witch, well, I won't say every witch, but 99.9% of witches will have amethyst, wearing it usually as a ring or a necklace. It's for, well, I'm not going to tell you what it's for, because that's going to be some more homework. I want you to figure out what these crystals are for, what their properties are, what they're used for, what we consider them in our craft, how we implement them in our craft. Then you have rose quartz, real pretty light pink. I'll go ahead and tell you the main properties, I guess. The clear quartz is really powerful. It can also substitute any of these. That's why I want you to get this one, whether or not you can get any of these others or not. Okay. The amethyst, I already said it was mainly for protection. The rest of it, I'll let you figure out. You can study it. The rose quartz, it's for health, well-being. As I said, you can get these in any shape, form, or fashion. The raw, which you can pretty much tell. A lot of times, though, in raw form, it's hard to tell. Some of the rose quartz is darker, so it may look more like an amethyst because amethyst not dyed, as I said, is a lighter purple. So depending on it, it may be hard to tell what is what. I want you to get some sort of black stone. There are several. There's tourmaline, there is onyx, there's jade, or jet, I'm sorry, not jade. Apache tears. They look like this. It's black stone. Looks like it's got little clouds in it. In my opinion, the main property of these is grounding. You need a grounding stone. Now, the next one that I want you to get is citrine. See, I have you cannot see in all this stuff, but and this is just something that I keep on my altar. This is your citrine. It's kind of an orange. Sometimes it's a real light orange. Sometimes it's dark. Carnelian looks a lot like citrine. You'll find that a lot of these stones look like each other. So whenever you're buying them, I would recommend, especially like I said, if you get them in raw form, you may not have any. Remember what you bought, unless you like whatever bag they came in. Sometimes when you order them, they'll have the names of them on there. I would recommend keeping the names on until you learn your crystals, because one that's polished and pretty like this tiger's eye will not look like that in raw form. Right now, you can tell by looking at it, it is tiger's eye. If you see it in raw form, it just looks like a big old rock with a bunch of little brown and orange dots in it. So, all these little chips, I have amethyst in here and a little bit of jade and just little things like that. That's 10 different forms. After I had my heart attack, I got one of these little rose quartz things to wear around my neck on a necklace, a pendant for it, because and I got a chain, long enough that it would fit right over my heart. So that's what that's for. Now I'm just going to show you a few others to kind of get you familiarized with them. Like I said, I'm in no way telling you to go get them, because that can run you into a lot of money, especially if you go getting them all at once. This right here is apophyllite. It looks like clear quartz, but it's sharper, it's shinier. Some of them look like they have diamonds in them. This right here, in my opinion, is right up there. Well, actually, in my opinion, it's above selenite. It's a very, very energetic crystal. Here's another piece of it. You can literally, especially when they're charged, you can literally hold these in your hands and feel the vibration of them. You sit there and hold them. I use them before spells a lot of times to energize me. But you can look. I'll show you a book here in a minute that you can kind of study up on them. Don't let it overwhelm you. That's why I gave you those 5: your clear quartz, your amethyst, your rose quartz, citrine, or carnelian, whichever one you prefer, and some sort of black. And there's several different ones of them. And it doesn't have to be a big piece, especially at first. Just get you, a little something. If not, that's okay. Just make sure that you get a crystal. And I don't work with crystals all the time, but I think it's imperative that every witch should at least have a clear quartz around, if not several, but at least one. This is titanium quartz. Very pretty. Kind of looks like something Superman brought with him from his planet, huh? Pyrite, also known as fool's gold. You see why? It looks like a big old chunk of gold. It's really pretty. I don't even know if my computer can do them justice, but this right here, and like I said, you can get your crystals in any form. A lot of us buy these little orbs. This is lapis lazuli mixed in with a few other elements. It's really pretty, energizing. And then your selenite, which is also a very, very powerful crystal. This, of course, is in orb shape, and it's, of course, but you can still see in it, there's little shards. It looks shardy. If you get the wands, the long pieces, they look like something you'd see on the side of the mountain. They're shardy. Look like you could just take them apart and break them, which you probably could. I've never tried it. Kind of like you could do string cheese, just pull it apart. This book right here, if you can, maybe you can go to the library and rent it or check it out. People won't look at you so funny if you're just studying crystals. I know a lot of people are afraid to go check something out, but you can also look them up on the internet. I just find having the book is a lot easier reference than going through a search engine all the time. You can just look through them. They're pretty much in alphabetical order, so you can find, and like I said, a lot of these won't look like what you may have if you order the raw, because sometimes they'll show the raw form, sometimes they'll show the tumbled, which means it's been rounded and cleaned and polished. And all the actual stone is taken out of the rock. In a raw form like this lepidolite, it's not. It's still in how it came out of the earth. So anyway, this is a good little book to have if you want to incorporate crystals in your magic. Some say they help, some say they don't. That's another thing on your path you'll have to decide, but it's a good little book to have. Another thing that I want you to do that I should have told you in the first video would be to research paganism. You need to know how it came about, what it's about. Another fun thing to do would be watch any show you can find on mythology, even the movies, because believe it or not, a lot of what's put into those movies is actually true. It tells you you'll get acquainted with the gods and goddesses in that way. A lot of them are Greek that are out. Most of them are Greek. The Clash of the Titans I love those shows. I just love watching those movies. Always have. So that could actually help you to where you can kind of slowly get acquainted with them. Another thing I wanted to tell you right quick is our Sabbats. Now, the Sabbats, some people have told me that they think that they're Wiccan based, that the Wicca pretty much, I don't know, the way they put it to me is they made them up. Well, I disagree. Maybe the only one I can think of that they might have incorporated into it would be Embolic. But I know for a fact that the Sabbats were around long before Wicca was before Jean Gardnerian brought them over here. But either way, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be Wiccan. We most of us recognize these certain holidays. So I'm going to tell you what they are. And I'm not going to wait for you to write them down. You can go back and pause the video and I wrote them down just to make sure that I didn't forget one or whatever, because they're imprinted in my head, but I'm getting old and I forget. So you've got Yule, which of course, the Christians turned into Christmas, which is the winter solstice. You'll also find that most of these holidays have about 3 days. They give you about 3 days to celebrate them. It usually goes from December 20th to the 23rd. Then you've got Embolic, which is actually Bridget's Day. Bridget, she's Celtic. She's a Celtic goddess, the triple goddess of the Celts. If any goddess I could anywhere near use as an example for Hecate, that would be Bridget, because she is also a triple goddess and has a lot of those same aspects. But once you start studying them, you'll see what I'm saying. Okay, then you have Ostara, the spring equinox, usually March 20th to the 23rd. Beltane, that is actually May Day, which is on every calendar, the first day of May. Usually you can celebrate on April 30th or May 1st. Litha, I call it Litha. Some people say Latha. That's, potato or tomato type thing. That is a summer solstice. Usually goes from June 20th to about the 23rd. Then you've got Lunasa. Now this one, if you see how they spell Lunasa, you'll see why we may say Lunasa, but when we're writing it, we'll probably write Lammas or Lammas, however you want to say it. That's pretty much the celebration of the harvest, the first harvest. So that would be around, I don't know, I guess depending, it'd be August 1st to me, somewhere in there. Then you've got Mabon, or Mabon. Samhain, or don't know how to spell it, it's spelled Samhain, Samhin, but it's pronounced October 31st to the 1st, and also on Halloween. It's such a I I'm sure you've heard the witches come out, which is true. We do. Or that's when we do a lot of our work that we've been preparing for maybe all year, just simply because that's when the veil, the other world, the other realms it's so thin. A lot of people do a lot of scrying or even ancestral magic, which that's another path you may go down to, or you may just incorporate it here and there. As I said, there's a lot of them to follow, or you have a lot of choices, and everybody does things a lot different. So once you get to going, and we're moving a little slow, but as I said, I'm trying to go slow enough that I don't lose you, but then I don't want to bore you either. So with these crystals, some people implement them, some people don't. You don't go out right now, I guarantee you, and go buy a whole bunch of crystals because you may never use them. They're pretty, they all have their magical properties, but that doesn't mean you want to go spend thousands of dollars on rocks. And then, as I said before, you need to be careful where they're coming from. Do research on whoever you're planning, whatever company you're going to buy them from, because a lot of them will cheat you. That's another reason that little book will help you. Now, some people get the Sabbats and Esbats messed up. The Sabbats are the holidays that we definitely celebrate, that we recognize. An Esbat is anytime you do a ritual or a rite, whether it be in a coven or by yourself. If you do this, say once a month on a full moon, that is mainly what the Esbat would be. Would be on a full moon when people get together and do something on the full moon. It's anything that you do outside of the normal holidays. I hope I explained that right, or where you can understand it. Now, that doesn't mean that every time you sit down and do a rite for your god or goddess or a spell that you're doing that you're having an Esbat. That's not what it is. It's I'll have to look up the exact definition, but the best way I know to put it is anytime you do something, you celebrate something other than the normal holidays, which all witches, usually celebrate on a full moon or do something special for a full moon. Speaking of that, I'll tell you this right quick. On a full moon, now you can charge all your tools, and in my next video, I'm going to show you some tools. But all your tools, all your crystals, water, people make moon water, anything that some witches empower their facial cleansers and their wrinkle creams, and you can put anything you want out there. Now, granted, you probably don't want to have a big old huge long table and stuff. I guess you could if you wanted to, of stuff setting out there. Do whatever you want to do. I mean, if you want to fill up a whole 9-foot long table of stuff, go for it. There's other ways to charge. I have been told, which is kind of new to me, that you can put your crystals in a freezer and clear them. I don't necessarily think that we charge crystals, because in my belief they stay charged. They're, especially the clear quartz, it's always charging itself. You can put this, you can put it down in with all your other crystals and it'll charge your other ones. I believe selenite will do that too. You just have to do your research on that. I'd have to do a whole series of videos on crystals, and I'm not going to do that because I don't incorporate them that much, and I'm not an expert on them. So, but or you can I just clear them. I call it clearing. When you reuse anything, your tools. First of all, you need to consecrate them. You need to make sure that there's no bad energy on them. A lot of times, and I'll go over this more in detail on my next video that I'm probably going to put up after this one. But you clear them, and after every work I do, because you don't want. And then whenever you start again, I keep my crystals and stuff and my wand. They're part of the decorations in my house. I have all my stuff sitting out. So I'm sure, it picks up on energy. And even though I'm saging my house quite a bit, they can probably still pick up on any sort of negative energy that comes around. Even my own, when I wake up in a bad mood, and you know how it goes. So you clear them. Some people sage them. There's several different ways that you can do it, but for now, I just wanted to tell you this, kind of introduce you to the crystals, see if you can come up with any of these. Even if you already have jewelry with one of these in it, that'll suffice. That's just fine. You don't need to go buy one. You already have it. But just make sure you have one of these, because in the future, I'm going to tell you to bring it out, and I'm going to show you what all you can do with them. And if you don't have any of these, you can use this. So this can replace these other four, or any crystal on the grid. So get those for me. Research the paganism for me. That way you'll know the basis of the religion part of witchcraft, the path that you will be walking. That'll give you a basis for it. Okay. All right. I'm going to go for now. I'm going to clear this stuff off, and I'm going to bring out a few tools, and I'm going to show you those. And we're starting to get into some fun stuff, so stick with me. And then after that, I'm probably going to show you how to cast a circle. Some witches don't use them, but I believe that a beginner witch definitely should know how to cast a circle. Okay. And if you never use it again, you know how to do it. Just every witch should know how to do it, whether you use it or not. So there's a little bit of homework, and I will be back with some more fun stuff, show you a few more little things. And like I said, we're starting to go a little faster. If there's any questions, or if I've missed something, or you don't understand something, please ask, because I don't know what you're thinking. I'm not that good. Okay. I'll see y'all here in just a little bit. Okay. Bye-bye.